Astonishing performance from Felipe Massa. Let's hear from his race engineer, Rob Smedley.
That's a big smile, isn't it? But were you worried about Hamilton and the 3 stops? I mean, you had him covered all the time, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, when he come past at a fair rate of knots, I have to say he did a good manoeuvre, to be honest. I'd be quite happy with that if I was Hamilton's engineer. But, you know, just told Felipe to calm down. We knew he was on a 3-stop, or if not, a very long final stint. So I just told him to calm down and just, you know, wait for the race to come back to him.
And a great drive from Felipe, and that puts him second in the championship, equal with Lewis on 28 points, I think.
Yeah, as you say, equal with Lewis. You know, 3 races ago we were 6th in the championship, or 3 races ago, in fact, we had no points. So he's come back fantastic. 28 points in 3 races. You know, it's world champion material.
You hope?
I certainly do.
Okay, good job today.
Felipe Massa, world champion. He's certainly got a chance after that outstanding victory today. We'll have time for more swift reaction in just a couple of minutes.
You like winning the pole from the pole. You've done that many times. Turkish Grand Prix always results in a winner for the pole, and everything delivered for you today.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. Today was a very difficult race, actually. Lewis was pushing me hard a lot from the whole race, and I thought he was very light in the beginning because he was pushing me so heavily, and then when I did my pit stop, he was straight away there. So I thought maybe he put less fuel or something, and then I realized my team told me straight away that he was on 3 stops, and that for sure he was a little bit of help because he was very strong. I couldn't hold him in the track, so he passed me. But then I knew I still had a big chance to win the race because 3 stops was a little bit quite a lot of optimistic. But anyway, I just create a reasonable gap to be in the front after the pit stops, and it was difficult, but we made it. And the 3rd time in Turkey is just fantastic. I mean, I think I can get a passport here already.
Felipe, Ferrari very good on both types of Bridgestone tyre, unlike most of the other cars in the field, and starting on the option, the softer tyre, unusual so far as the rest of the grid was concerned. Yeah,
I was just talking with Kimi now. Today was a very difficult day to choose the tyres because the difference was not so big from the soft and the hard. You know, even on the first lap and during the run. The hard was much better on Friday, but my soft survived quite well on Friday, so we were really keen to use the soft today. But then I saw Lewis going very quickly with the hard, and then we thought maybe it was a little bit of a mistake. And I think in the last run, the car was so easy to drive on the hard that maybe it was the right choice to choose the hard.
Well, congratulations to you. And Lewis, switching to you, I guess from where you were yesterday in qualifying, you weren't too happy with your qualifying result, but today to split the Ferrari is a great result for you.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled, I think, to come second from 3rd, but with the strategy we were on, as you could tell yesterday, a little bit disappointed with it. Hickey did a fantastic job and was able to out-qualify me with more fuel. And but after looking at the data, I realised that I was happy with the tyre choice, and you know, I lost a bit of time in my middle sector. And as today we started on the harder tyre, we knew it was going to be very tough to challenge the Ferraris, and to be honest, we were just hoping to get some points. To finish in the top 5 would have been good, but the balance of the car was great, and on on the hard tyres I was able to keep up with Felipe and even overtake him. And after that, I was gone, you know, and I was able to keep pushing and pushing. At the end, it was quite tough. The softer tyre was definitely the worst tyre. So, yeah, I'm much happier.
The Sector 3 was a relatively important area for you, relative to the Ferraris, that is. Equally, you were able to switch to that 3-stop strategy because of the fuel load with which you started the race. Do you think that your 2nd place is a result of switching to that strategy, because it minimised the amount of time on the soft tyre at the end?
Perhaps. I mean, the reason we went with I have to say, the reason we went with a 3-stopper was due to Bridgestone were concerned that, well, they thought that the tyre was going to fail like it did last year, and therefore they made us do a 3-stop. as it was the safest route to go. So unfortunately for us, that put us in not such a strong position to win the race. However, I'm given a problem, and I deal with it, and so does the team, and that's why I still believe that we're the best. And I really have to say a big thank you to the team. They did a great job keeping the calm and doing a great job in all the pit stops.
And when you were really quick with relatively light fuel on the three-stop strategy, it was sector 3 in which you were losing ground to the Ferrari, or not gaining on the Ferrari, unlike sectors 1 and 2. Is that a worry going into Monte Carlo?
I don't see it as a worry, but obviously in Barcelona, the last sector, which was all the tight corners, they were a little bit quicker than us there. And it's the same here. The last 3 corners on the straight and the last 3 corners, they seem to take quite a lot out of us. So, we're going to go back and try to understand exactly why and keep pushing to improve. And I have no doubts that we can do that.
Lewis Hamilton satisfied and encouraged. We're pushed for time, so you can hear from Kimi Räikkönen on the ITV F1 website. But it was a 3-stop strategy, as we heard from Ron Dennis as well earlier, born out of their nervousness about the tyre performance. But there was nothing cautious about Lewis at the start, was there?
Nothing at all. It was a typical Hamilton start. Aggressive, making up positions, very clean. Lewis gets away nicely. There's bigger problems, though, for Kovalainen, for Kimi Räikkönen. You see him just getting pinched into that turn 1 there. And actually, Räikkönen just clips the back of Kovalainen. This is an incident between Fisichella and Nakajima. Fisichella clearly runs into the back of Nakajima, taking excess speed into one, just gets on the brakes, locks up. At that point, he's out of control. And Nakajima very lucky not to get hit while that car crosses the cockpit of his Williams there.
There's the start one more time from Kimi Räikkönen's point of view, and they're coming together with Heikki Kovalainen, who had a very frustrating race in the other McLaren.
Yeah, difficult one for Kovalainen, and just got clipped there by Räikkönen, and that actually gave him a puncher, and he had to come in very early on to get that changed over.
But Lewis had to get past Felipe Massa if he was going to get any chance of getting on that podium. He did it with some style and a lot of courage as well.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic move. He just lines him up, gets in the slipstream, just tucks himself behind there. And at this point, you don't think it's going to happen, but he puts himself down the inside of Massa, and I think Massa could have defended a little bit stronger. To be honest, though, it is very sensible on both drivers' parts. Hamilton puts himself inside, Massa just takes avoiding action, but a great move again by Lewis Hamilton. It's the kind of thing that we saw him do in a GP2 car, and he is one of those guys who manages to do it in a Formula 1 car with ease. Slipstream, again, slips down the inside here. There's minimal amount of room at that point, but he makes it count. Massa has to take action, as I say, and just drive out the corner as opposed to in. And
it was a race full of some outstanding overtaking out on the track, and also some outstanding pit work as well.
Yeah, very much so. I think McLaren were fantastic in the pit work today. A couple of stops that they managed to do, a sub-6 second stop and a little bit further into the 6s. Very well executed. I think the guy is outstanding in their work rate. And Lewis also making it count, and this is where it really does count, because he comes back out on the road in front of Kimi Räikkönen to secure that 2nd place.
But in the end, it was Felipe Massa with another victory here in Turkey. Where does that leave us in terms of what we understand about the relative pace between Ferrari and McLaren now?
I think it has closed up. I mean, we all thought that maybe there was a bit of sandbagging by Ferrari in Barcelona. I certainly did. That doesn't seem to be evident today. I think Ferrari are now slightly worried because McLaren are coming back. And McLaren actually are quite strong in Monte Carlo, so it could be a great race for us.
Yeah, Monaco and Montreal could be very close contests, couldn't they?
Yeah, they could be. And I think everybody here will be a little bit, happy with the McLaren progress, just to make sure we've got a fight in our hands. And we've also got a fight now with Massa coming into contention for the World Championship.
Mark, thanks very much indeed. So a fascinating Turkish Grand Prix in terms of overtaking and racing out on the track and tactics behind the scenes as well. We'll have more reaction, as I say, on our ITV F1 website, and of course a lot more reaction in our highlights program, our Turkish Grand Prix highlights program, which is tonight on ITV1 at 11:50. But let me also remind you of the 2 big European Cup finals that are coming up on ITV1. The UEFA Cup final, first of all, next Wednesday. Rangers against Zenit St. Petersburg, live on ITV1 at 7:30. And the following Wednesday, of course, live from Moscow, that Champions League final, Manchester United against Chelsea, will be on air at 7 o'clock, ITV1. For the next motorsport, well, it's ITV4 next weekend for the Goodwood Revival on Saturday, and then live coverage of the touring cars from Thruxton on Sunday. And the next F1, all the glitz and glamour of Monaco in 2 weeks, live coverage of qualifying and the race on ITV1, along with live coverage of the 2 biggest GP2 support races of the season on ITV4. That's the Monaco Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time. Form guy for Monaco. Well, McLaren are closing the gap on Ferrari. A brave drive from Lewis Hamilton here this afternoon, but another victory in the Turkish Grand Prix for Felipe Massa. Goodbye.